Hello, my name is Kelly McCown. I'm the teacher, author, and owner of Teaching Math and More LLC. Today on the Teaching Math and More channel, we are talking about how to practice for the end of year math test and how to prepare your students in a meaningful way. It is part of our math test prep series that will give you tips, strategies, and resources to develop a math test plan to meet the needs of your students. You will learn how to help your students earn higher scores this year. The purpose of this video series is to help you, the math teacher, do less work doing the wrong things by instead using the best strategies for test prep to help your students earn higher results in math. Grab your video notes. We are on page 8 today. If you don't have the notes, you can grab them in the description of this video. Today we're going to talk about how to practice for the test, which is the second part of math test prep. You've seen this before. Math test prep is 3 parts. In the first video, we talked about all 3 parts. Number 1 is planning, having a plan for test prep. Number 2 is practicing, often before the test. And number 3 is evaluating, preparing with a practice test. Part 2 of math test prep is practice. You have time for math practice to exercise grade level skills that are necessary for passing the test. You don't need to practice every single math skill. I want to repeat this. You don't need to practice every single math skill for your grade, just the ones that you know your students need to practice with. Practice doesn't make perfect, but practice will create fluency of math skills for your students. There are some things that you need to include in your math test prep practice. First, grade level math skills. Find out what skills your students absolutely need for the test. Newsflash, not every skill will be on the test. Yes, this may come to you as a shock, but not every skill will be on the end of your math test as it should be. So prepare for the ones that will be on the test. Second, practice vocabulary. My best advice is to practice every month with at least 10 vocabulary terms that will be on the end of your math test. This will help your students to build up a base of knowledge around what they need to know for the test, and by the end of the year, they will know 100 new vocabulary terms. I use Write the Room with Math every month to help my students learn new vocabulary terms. Lastly, testing skills. So plan for a day of practice testing to get your students comfortable with testing situations. This will help with questions or any anxiety they may have. Prepare them by going over testing skills like what is a reference sheet, how to bubble, and so on. Now, let's look at grade level practice skills. Every grade level has a different set of skills that matter most. Let's look at grades 3 through 8 math to get a glimpse of what students need to know. In 3rd grade, kids need to master multiplication. It's important for the end of year test as it's a major building skill for 4th grade. In 4th grade, kids need to master division. It's a key skill that can prove difficult for students in the future if they don't master it in 4th grade. In 5th grade, kids need to master decimals and fractions. These are both very important skills for progressing in mathematics. If you want to learn more about what really matters on the test, join the Math Test Hero workshop and get clear on what your students should be reviewing. In 6th grade, kids need to master ratios. It's important for building skills necessary in 7th and in geometry. In 7th grade, kids need to master proportions. It's a key skill that can prove difficult for students in the future if they don't master it in 7th grade. In 8th grade, kids need to master equations. I've had so many conversations with parents about this very topic. If students can't master equations, they can't do algebra. It's simple as that. If they can't do equations, they can't do algebra. So it's a pre-algebra skill that needs to be mastered by the end of 8th grade. Students can either learn it in 7th grade or 8th grade, but it needs to be mastered before they move on to algebra, period. If you want to learn more about testing and the skills that really matter on the test, join the Math Test Hero workshop and get clear on what you should be reviewing with your students. The link for Math Test Hero workshop is in the description of this video. Only quality test prep will help your students succeed. If you are not using test prep time to review for the big math concepts, you are wasting your time. Plan ahead with what concepts you will cover. Here are some examples of test prep materials that work. Number 1, review math word problems with your end of year math review booklet. Review math skills with practice worksheets. Practice tools can be found on page 12 of your video notes. Number 2, review math vocabulary in the end of year booklet as well. Review vocabulary and practice vocabulary worksheets can be found on pages 16 and 17 of your video notes. Number 3, review math reference sheet formulas with the best math reference sheet and quiz. And number 4, take a practice end of year math test to see what your students know and if there's anything they need to improve on before the end of year test. Test prep practice is not meant to be overwhelming. You may see all of these things and go, oh my goodness, this is going to take so much time. But it's not. It's meant to fill in the gaps. So you don't have to do all the test prep practice, just the ones that your students need. What do your students need? What do your students need to succeed on the end of your math test? The links to all of this math prep practice are in the description of this video. Completing a standardized test is not always intuitive. Students need help navigating how to read directions, how to solve math word problems, and where to put their answers. Start by reviewing the grade level reference sheet that students will receive on testing day. Look over formulas, look over measurement conversions, show students how they can use the reference sheet to help them solve problems. The Math Test Hero is the best workshop for teaching your students math testing skills to earn higher test scores. This is a quick and easy 1-hour workshop that will give you tips, strategies, and resources to boost your math scores. Included are grade level checklists, secret test taking strategies that I only share inside the workshop. Save your energy and get the quickest results this year. On page 11 of your notes, I have a coupon just for you to join the Math Test Hero workshop. There is a solution to the problem of how to practice for the end of year math test. The solution is to practice the grade level skills, word problems, and vocabulary that matter for your students. Try simplifying the test prep practice by only using what you need. For more information about the Math Test Prep video series, be sure to check out the description of this video. Thank you for subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you next time for part 4 of the Math Test Prep series.